for people to get engaged and get back involved into local government, to follow up, to see what's going on, and if they want to see the civilian oversight to exist, to also support it. To contact their mayor and commission, to also do their homework and their research, and to support what we're trying to establish, because we truly believe this is a way that we can improve community and policing relations.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and taking time out of your day. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So as you can see, that people are really determined to solve this issue. I spoke with Commissioner Jesse Houle today on the phone, and he told me that the formation of the Civilian Oversight Board is currently on the agenda for the Athens-Clarke County Commission, and the commission is looking to hold a vote to form the Civilian Oversight Board coming here this November. Back to you, Sam.
Thanks, Ballard. A march for reproductive justice took place in Athens on Sunday. Grady Newsource reporter Samantha Spinacci explains why they are campaigning for a reproductive justice commission.
Ain't no power like the power of the people.
The Athens Reproductive Justice Collective held a march in Athens in support of reproductive health. The participants marched from the Arch to City Hall in response to the Texas abortion bill. They are also pushing for the Athens-Clarke County Commission to create an Athens Reproductive Justice Commission.
The point of the commission is that it's a body of experts and concerned citizens who are, interested in reproductive rights and justice, and they can provide recommendations, policy or programmatic, to the city council for them to consider to address repro needs in the community.
Venetia Kudmari is a co-founder of the collective. Her organization was one of 3 pro-abortion organizations at the march. Some of the services the organizations are hoping the commission will provide are paid parental leave for city employees, free menstrual products in city buildings, and reproductive and sexual health education. They also are working to break the stereotype that reproductive justice and health is just the right to an abortion.
I think it's important to note that reproductive justice is about access, obviously maybe to abortion, but also just to any kind of facet of, living in a way that is safe and sustainable.
Prior to the march beginning, a smaller group of anti-abortion activists met at the Arch to raise awareness for their cause.
We're trying to get legal protection for all innocent human life from the moment of conception to natural death.
As the march was beginning, Morris shared his thoughts about creating the commission.
I'm all for fighting injustice, but I don't understand why we need a commission when people already have the rights to do whatever they want to do with their own body or anything else. So
the pro-abortion organizers will continue to march throughout the month to push for the commission to add this to their agenda. Their next meeting will be in front of City Hall at tomorrow's County Commission meeting. This has been Samantha Spinacci, Grady Newsource.
As voter registration for the November 2nd election draws to an end, Grady Newsource reporter Shaylin Carroll tells us what will be on the ballot in each of our surrounding counties. Hi, Shaylin. What's the latest with the upcoming election?
Hey, Sam. As voter registration draws to an end, today is your last chance to register for the November elections. To check your voter registration status, you can go to mvp.sos.ga.gov, which was set up by the Secretary of State's office. Here, you can check your status, confirm your polling location for election day, see absentee voting status, and more. This is also where you can go to register to vote if you have not already.
What can voters expect to see on their ballots in the upcoming election?
So voters can expect to see a couple of things. This select educational projects around the county. There will also be both
Shaylin, turn on your mic.
Council election and a special election. In Barrow County, residents will be able to vote on a SPLOST referendum in addition to 2 council member seats in Auburn, 3 council member seats in Stalin, and 3 council member seats in Winder. In Madison County, voters can see a special election for the Board of Commissioners in District 3, the mayor in Comer County, and there are elections for council members in the cities of Carlton, Colbert, Comer, Danielsville, Hull, and Isla. Coney voters will be able to vote on T-SPLOST in addition to the mayor of Watkinsville and representatives for posts 3, 4, and 5 in the town of North High Shoals. Oglethorpe won't have an election in 2021, and their next election is scheduled for May of 2022.
Awesome. Thank you, Shaylin. Now, I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties with your mic, but there are different options for all different voters no matter what county you're in. But Shaylin, aside from today's voter registration deadline, what other key dates should voters look out for?
The general election will occur on November 2nd, and registrars can begin mailing absentee ballots as early as October 11th. That's it from me on election news. Back to you, Sam.
Awesome. Thanks, Shaylin. Many professors and the University of Georgia University Council are pushing for COVID-19 related mandates on campus. Grady Newsource reporter Savannah Ware tells us how the UC and professors are still resisting decisions the University System of Georgia has made for campus as a whole.
Students and faculty have continued to protest on campus to demand mask and vaccine mandates. Many at the University of Georgia are continuing to ask for change. The University Council held a meeting last Thursday where they considered new resolutions regarding COVID-19. The proposals call on the UGA administration, particularly University President Jerry Moorhead, to mandate vaccines, masks, and randomized testing. UC resolutions are not official policy, but largely statements about what elected UC members would like to see change on campus. Over 50 UGA professors sent a letter to the University System of Georgia demanding a mask mandate. The professors who signed this letter are planning on actively going against the USG and UGA by requiring students to wear masks in their classes. The letter states, "In order to protect our students, staff, and faculty colleagues, we will wear masks and will require all of our students and staff to wear masks in our classes and laboratories until local community transmission rates improve." The USG's current position on masks is to strongly encourage them but not require them in order to attend school. Ushri Bhattacharya has spoken out publicly in favor of a university-wide mask mandate. She is the mother of an immunocompromised child and a UGA professor.
In a lot of spheres of life, we don't just rely on people to do the right thing, right? It would be lovely if we didn't have to legislate or mandate anything, but we do.
Professors who signed the letter argue that mask and vaccine mandates are in the best safety and health interests of people involved in the USG. There are many students and faculty who are in opposition to suggested mandates. Kemper Higgins is a UGA undergraduate student and co-organizer of the Athens anti-mandate movement. He is not opposed to masks or vaccines, but is opposed to mask and vaccine mandates.
It's like I want to be able to have the freedom to interact with my classmates, interact with my teachers in a fully normal way, because as it pertains to my health, I am back to normal. And the people that are vaccinated should be back to normal.
For Grady Newsource, this is Savannah Ware.
Up next, how an event for Oconee County raised over $15,000 for local first responders.
In foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
An event in Oconee County raised over $15,000 for local first responders. Grady Newsource reporter Kayla Robertson has more on the Run for Responders.
Members of the Oconee County community gathered last Sunday at Oconee County Veterans Park for a 5K in support of first responders.
I don't necessarily always feel like they get as much love as they should, and that was really it. I wanted to do something that we could just turn this into a huge community event and just, like I said, say thank you.
Local businesses, churches, and schools pitched tents and set up activities and games for families at the event to enjoy. But the main event was the Run for Responders race that runners participated in.
Runners set, go!
Oconee County Sheriff James Hale said that his department makes sure that the community receives the level of service that is expected.
Different than most everywhere else. Our community really supports law enforcement. They throw a lot of support our way, and they expect a certain level of service out of us, and we make sure that we give them that level of service that they expect.
Greer set an initial goal to raise $15,000 for first responders in the county. As of today, they had surpassed that goal by nearly $5,000. Once all donations are received and accounted for, the money will be distributed between Oconee County Fire Rescue, the Watkinsville Police Department, and the Oconee County Sheriff's Office. Greer says that first responders choose to do their jobs because of their desire to serve people in their community, and that despite national controversy surrounding police, the Oconee County community supports them.
I mean, these people, they certainly don't do it for the money. It is a calling to go out there and serve others, and I just feel like regardless of what you hear out there, you can tell by the turnout. I mean, it's been really, really awesome.
This is Kayla Robertson with Grady Newsource.
Athens police are still investigating a fatal shooting that occurred on Saturday night at approximately 8:45 p.m. that left former NASCAR driver John Townley dead. The shooting occurred after Townley arrived to his wife's apartment, where his wife, Laura Townley, and another man, Zachary Anderson, were staying. Athens Clark County Police reported that Townley and Anderson had an altercation, which led Anderson to pull out a gun and fire several shots. Townley and his wife were wounded and transported to the nearest hospital after the event, where Townley passed away due to his injuries. His wife, however, is expected to recover from her injuries. The incident occurred at the 200 block of Morton Avenue, near 5 Points. The investigation is ongoing, and police are asking anyone with information to please call Detective Black if they have any information. Up next, Grady Newsource reporter Emma Robinson will tell us when we can expect the rain to stop.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
the weather.
Hi, I'm Emma Robinson with your Northeast Georgia weather forecast. It's officially October, and Athens can expect gloomy storms to welcome this spooky time of year. The National Weather Service issued a flash flood watch from late tonight through late Wednesday night in Northeast Georgia and other parts of the state. So tonight, Athens can expect showers and thunderstorms with a chance of continuing rain all throughout the night. These storms will likely continue into Tuesday with a 90% chance of heavy rainfall and a high of near 74 degrees in the day, followed by possible thunderstorms tomorrow night. There is a high chance these showers will continue throughout the rest of the week, but have no fear, skies should clear up just in time for the weekend. Though this week's Saturday in Athens won't see the Georgia Bulldogs light up Sanford Stadium, we will, however, see partly sunny skies, perfect for other fun weekend activities. Enjoy the sunshine while browsing at the Saturday Athens Farmers Market, or grab your bicycle and soak in some rays at the 10th Annual Firefly Trail Ticket to Ride. And if you're traveling to Auburn this weekend to support the Bulldogs in their match against the Tigers, you too can expect sunny skies with a high of 79. That's it for your weather forecast. Again, I'm Emma Robinson with Grady Newsource.
Next on Grady Newsource Sports, reporter Nikki Schatz tells us more on how UGA's football team had back-to-back shutouts this season.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time Shiro to all of us. You nurture, we listen. You teach, we thrive. You lift our spirits, but we've got to lay down the truth. It's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. A free online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Start saving more for retirement so you can feel prepared and live your life to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
And now, sports.
Welcome back to Grady Newsource. I'm Nikki Schatz with your Northeast Georgia sports update. ESPN's College Game Day joined us in Athens this past Saturday as the Georgia Bulldogs won 37-0 against the Arkansas Razorbacks. This was the Bulldogs' second consecutive shutout this season, bringing their winning streak 5-0. This coming weekend, the football team takes the road to Auburn with hopes of going 6-0. As the football team swept Arkansas, the volleyball team was not as lucky and lost to Arkansas 3-0, the team's fifth consecutive loss this season. UGA's women's soccer team also lost to Arkansas 4-1 last night.
We didn't match their energy, their desire.
Today, both tennis teams compete in a week-long ITA All-American Championship tournament in Charleston, South Carolina and Tulsa, Oklahoma. Again, I'm Nikki Schatz with your Look at Sports.
Up next, join us for details on the City of Nicholson's first ever Georgia Cities Week.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level.
Father,
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
it's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward.
come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation is investigating an explosive that was set off in Winder at 3:15 on Saturday morning. They are working on several leads but are unable to share that information with the public at this time. They are encouraging anyone with information to contact the Winder Police Department or the Georgia Bureau of Investigation in Athens. The explosive was set outside a home by the mailbox on Holly Drive, and it destroyed the brick mailbox and broke the windows of several nearby homes. But luckily, no one was injured. Residents of Winder commented on the police department's Facebook post, saying they could hear the explosion from miles away. Winder police believe the incident could be related to a domestic dispute. Thanks for joining us on Grady Newsource. I'm Sam Perez. Have a great night.
Grady Newsource is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
Always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride.
Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
Kevin, I need that back.
No.
Kevin!
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. And I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Hello? Okay, there we go. So, anyways, yeah, we're back there. Anyways, great job, guys. I know all of you must have eaten your honey bunches of oats this morning because that was a great show. A little more complicated than the ones we've had in the past, but now we know that you're capable of doing stuff like a live shot, like a Q&A, all that stuff. Michelle, great job. Wherever you're right there. Michelle, great job. Getting us through that between floating and unfloating stuff. On the tech side, we had a little bit of a rough start at the beginning, just getting everything going, but once the show got going, I saw little to no mistakes. V will work on getting the Skycam turned around. But yeah, without further ado, Professor V.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Sometimes mics work when you turn them on, so it's good to turn on your mic. Before I toss to Michelle, our producer, TV producer, I want to thank her for our first live shot. Ballard is not here, who executed the live shot, but I think it went well. I will watch it again. Please don't say awesome when you're interviewing someone, especially on live air or when you're in an interview. You're just talking to someone about the facts and you're not evaluating what they're telling you, how they're speaking to you. Do not say awesome. We also had a smart board, which was good. We had Shaylin do that the thing is that, again, if you don't switch on your mic like I didn't, we don't hear you, so we didn't hear anything you said. We tried to get our anchor to tell you to switch. Yes, you must have turned it off. If you can.
Once he handed it to me and told me
Yeah.
it was good, and then not to mess with it, and then once they were saying to do stuff, I tried all the settings, and I guess it didn't work.
It's this little thing.
Yeah, that's what I.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yeah, but we couldn't hear you. So once they hand you that mic, don't mess with that little button because we didn't hear all the lovely things you wanted to tell us. So Michelle, it's over to you. We are, as I mentioned this morning, we're going to do these post-show critiques where you guys are going to take the lead. First, the two producers, the TV and digital producer, they will tell us 3 things that we did well, 3 things we need to work on, and then we'll go and we'll do, each MMJ will hand over the mic to the next one, and each one of you will tell us 1 thing you did well, 1 thing you want to work on, and we'll go from there. So, Michelle.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to say thank you guys for working with me. You all did such a great job with being flexible with what was needed to be done. And I think that is something that we should highlight, is how flexible we are as journalists. And I think that we are learning that this profession is that flexibility. And that is something that we are getting really good at. Shout out to Ballard, who I just pitched this story to him, and he was willing to do it on the fly. Shout out to Shaylin as well, who had one package for me and then was ready to do a Q&A. She didn't stop working until the show came on, and I'm really grateful for her. And all of you did such an amazing job with the flexibility. The only critique I had was the fact that I was not the show itself, was the pitch sheet from like 8. When stories are due at 8, it's good for the producer to be able to see them at 8, just to have an idea of what the show would be like. Other critiques, I think I would need to like watch the show as well. Oh, yes. Emma did an amazing job with the weather, given the fact that, yes.
The pitch sheet should be filled out by everyone. And even if you're news gathering, that's not your day off. News gatherers have a little bonus, a little break, if we don't need them to do live news that day. That is just a nice to have. It doesn't mean that it's your day off. And so we need to see all your pitches by 8 p.m. in the document. And they cannot be something that happened in August, but you haven't confirmed whether it's still going on or things like that. It has to be really a viable little piece of a VO or a VO SOT, because Michelle didn't have, I will add that, you're not saying this, but you did not have enough VO SOTs, little pieces, and as a result of that, the E-block was just one VO. Yeah, not a good way to end a show, because you had to kill a nice, thoughtful story at the end. So that is why we should have more viable pitches, even if it's a VO, news gathering. Again, it's not your week off. Anybody have, did you have a question? No. So that's number 2. Number 3, what else? During the day, was there anything else that you noticed that we could do differently?
So another thing I think is communicating. If you're an anchor and it's your first time being an anchor, communicating with the people that were anchors before you, before the show. That way you have a more of an idea when you're coming in and how things work. Even though sometimes as a sports anchor and a weather anchor, you're going to run into issues with the smartboard or the green screen. Once you've talked to people that have worked those positions, they will be able to guide you more and prepare you to face those problems. And when they do come, you won't be as surprised. And I think that communication with the people that have done your position is something we could work on.
And I assume you're talking about Emma. We saw a dark background, which is not something that we use. I don't know what happened with that. Can you grab a mic? Yeah. Can you hand her a mic? Thank you, darling.
Yeah, so green screen issues, I know Alice and I worked together on that because she did a wonderful job with that in her weather last week. In editing, the background came out black, and so I'm, as you can see, in black pants and belt, so I was disappearing. So I had to make do and just make a graphic with the logo in the back, and then put my graphics kind of in there with the footage of me talking.
The graphics were good, but just the background looked very...
Yes, it's because I was like Michelle saw the footage, I was literally like weaning away my body. So I could have kept the graphics behind me, but it looked silly because it was all splotchy. So I just made the little black, I couldn't use any other thing but a black background or else I was going to disappear. So I just pasted the logo on a graphic and did a makeshift thing.
Other people who've done the weather? Yes.
Because I don't know why the green screen came out black, though, in the editing, but the way to remove the background, since she was wearing black, when you remove the background, then it, like she was saying, it, like, looked weird because normally it comes out green, so you remove the green and it's black, and then you put the graphic in front of you, and it, like, you look good because if you're not wearing black, or you're not wearing green, but since she was wearing the color that the green screen came out as in editing, she couldn't remove herself without it just being, like, her head or something.
For future reference, you will pass on that information to the next weather anchor, how to avoid that kind of look.
Yes.
That Halloween look. But it's not yet Halloween, right? Okay. Anything else, darling?
No, I don't think so. If Davis wants to say anything.
Yes. 3-3.
So it was certainly a frustrating day for me because Facebook and Instagram have been down since June, which is ridiculous. I've never seen that happen literally in my life for this long. So we made it work with what we could do, mainly Twitter and YouTube. The tough thing about those platforms is you only get 280 characters as opposed to, writing 2 paragraphs. So it's kind of tough to evaluate today based upon that. I would say one thing we could improve on for me is like for the digital producer is when you guys send stuff to the digital producer, send them like a concise paragraph that tells you what's going on with your story, because you're going to know your story way better than the digital producer. So I don't have to like go listen to your story, try to write up a script from that, because you're your story best. So just like concise 1 paragraph, like 3 to 4 sentences. No, they did, but sometimes you gotta ask for a little bit more. So yeah, make sure that you do that. Shout out to Kayla and Shaylin for making that video with me. At least we got a little bit creative, poking fun. Everybody on Twitter is poking fun at Facebook and Instagram for being down today, so we got creative there. And yeah, I mean, people still got their stuff to me. I scheduled it for, later when hopefully those platforms are back up. But, I was able to put, obviously Grady Daily can go on YouTube and Twitter. We ran Tyler's package because that's obviously a very, I mean, it's kind of tough to evaluate because we're not working with like a normal day. But I would say everyone asked what I did. Everybody did what I asked of them. I would say number 1. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so it's like, I don't know, it just didn't feel like, but I think we were able to diversify it enough. I posted a full package from Tyler. I got like a clip of the package from Megan, and I got like, just B-roll shots and SOTs from other people. So I think I diversified it fairly well. So I'd say, like I said, I would say just to be more specific with the digital producers so that they can get up faster and there's not as much back and forth, if that makes sense. Because like sometimes some people would send stuff to me and be like, okay, can you send me a description of what your story is? Because especially if it's not the full package and I can't go watch it, I don't necessarily know what's going on. Right, yeah, so that's what I would say we can do a better job of, is just like concise 3 to 4 sentences, like a paragraph or 2 of like what your story's about and what that particular clip that you're sending is telling. That's probably the biggest thing.
I hate to start a negative note, but I'm still really struggling visually. I think for me, I get really excited about the script writing because most of the work I've done in Grady before this has been more writing based, and I took this class as a challenge to myself in that I don't know a lot about broadcast journalism, but then I forget about the broadcast piece until like I was running out to get B-roll at 4:15 or something like that, and I can't keep putting myself in this position. So my story for Wednesday, I'm trying to think ahead with that. But I was excited about my interviews today and having 2 very opposite sides of the spectrum.
My package didn't run today, but based on my editing, because I did like a quick turn piece, I say the thing that I struggle with is getting the audio level. Like every package that I've had, the audio fluctuates. So really like taking a few extra minutes to work on leveling everything out, maybe getting a second opinion on what sounds good. And then something I did well was getting my interviews today. It looked a little dicey there, but got to down, and they were both super willing to talk to me. And just like from my one interview, taking what they said and asking questions to the next person to kind of corroborate what they're saying. Yes.
I think that I can still work on visual elements as well. With this story, there was definitely a lot of visual things to tell, but you can only look at a protest for so long. I wish there was more visual elements. That's why I tried to throw in a graphic. And then something that I think I did good was even taking the challenge of this story, because I found out about it last week and I didn't know if it was something that I even felt comfortable covering, but I'm very happy that I did it, and it made me feel proud as a journalist to be there and to experience that. So it was just like a great learning experience, and being able to kind of just go on the spot and see what I can take from that story. Yes, it was very challenging to be able to tell both sides of the story. You don't want to give one side of this topic, make it seem like like you're trying to push that agenda at all. So it was very challenging to write my script and to find a way to tell both sides of it in a equal way without trying to put an opinion out there. Yes, go ahead.
Sam and I talked about word choice. I'm sure she talked about it with Professor V. Even though a group might call themselves one thing, we want to check with the style guides for Grady and AP style, because that might help us move away from an agenda that that name itself carries, and make it more of a journalistic piece.
I don't know what else to say. It was challenging. I think everyone should cover a protest if they can, because it just makes you learn a lot and you can see things from different perspectives. Just being there and like being enriched in it, it was just a way different feeling than I've ever experienced.
I think that one thing I can work on, especially with this last story that I did, because it was, first of all, in Oconee County, which tends to be very conservative, and it was an event that was, I mean, obviously just going to be for one side. They're there to raise money for police officers, so I did my best to ask them while I was there to, you know, comment on what they thought about the national issues surrounding the police officers and first responders and whatnot. So asking tougher questions and kind of pushing the people that I'm talking to. I know that it can be kind of uncomfortable, especially like when you're in an area like, or like an environment like that, but kind of just making sure that you are explaining their side of the story and like make them tell you why they think what they think, and not just, oh, here's what I think. Don't be afraid to like push them and ask them why and get a better explanation from them. No, that was something that I think I could work on. I think my visual elements were pretty good for that. I really spent my time like walking around for, I mean, I was there for a while, like getting different angles of shots of things and people. And
School wanted to work on their visuals. You and Sam P can help others.
Well, thank you.
With visuals, yeah.
Yeah, just making sure that like while you're somewhere, just look at everything, and if you see something from like far away, look at people's hands are always really interesting. If you can get like their feet moving around, just any angle that you could possibly get, just try to spend your time and like really think about how you could. While I was there, I was thinking about, okay, well, what shot could I put at the beginning, and just kind of thinking your way through it while you're there is helpful to me, at least.
Very important. Think about the opening shot, which, you know, sets the tone for your story. So if you're very strong on your script, or your background, you understand it. Once you get there, start looking for, okay, maybe I want to start with this, you know, my story with this. So what is the kind of B-roll I want to get? Lots of, as you say, excuse me, close-ups are very important. But they have to be relevant, right? Don't take close-ups for the sake of taking close-ups. So how would you visualize the things that are important to your story? I learn a lot by watching other people, journalists I respect, and just watching and seeing how they do a similar story. Go and look at, again, we have this access to CNN news source. Do a search in the morning of a story with a keyword that's similar to yours. See how do they approach the visuals, and that can help you a lot. So do a little bit of research on the visuals, but also, as Kayla was saying, think in visuals also. And that's not something you can develop immediately, but I'm glad that this is something that you're aspiring to, because, a journey of 1,000 steps begins with the first step, right? And you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, but yeah, and we'll keep working on it. And did we give you? Okay. Yes. Tyler.
One thing that I need to work on is to embed my sources. That's one thing I always forget to do when I'm writing scripts, and Professor V always has to remind me to go and embed some sources. One thing I was like really proud of was my visual aspect in my story. I feel like I did a good job visually. I included some nat sound. Unfortunately, it didn't get to air, but that happens.
So this time, for me, mine didn't get to air. However, something that I kind of like made my personal goal was I wanted to actually get an in-person interview, and actually have that sought in there, as opposed to just using an audiogram, which is what I've done with previous packages. So for me, what I did well was definitely having a more compelling visual for an interview, as well as she even showed me around the facility. So I had a recording of like a little snippet of a tour, and that is a lot more compelling than just an audiogram without a visual of a person. So having that for an interview was something that I was proud of. Something that I could have worked on more was just getting a different perspective, perhaps like a source that was, outside of the ones that I captured, perhaps maybe the mayor, or even somebody that was affiliated with another city that had partnered with the Georgia Municipal Association before. So still working on getting better sources, or not really better, but just more variety of sources. Mm-hmm.
Awesome, thank you. I would say one thing that I did well, that I definitely think everyone should do in the future, that we do, and I'm glad we do, is print the scripts. There was a lot of problems, especially early on with the teleprompter. And so if I didn't have those scripts, I literally don't know what I would have done, because I had to read a lot from the sheet. So definitely glad that I had those. And then something that I think I could do better is being more prepared right off the top. Basically, when the show opened, that's when the teleprompter wasn't working, and I was not really expecting that. And I know I didn't cover as good as I could have, but kind of just being a little bit more go with the flow, which I think ended up working out better when Shaylin's mic wasn't on and stuff like that. But I think just being prepared right at the start could have really helped me react better to that. But yeah.
And it showed. It wasn't easy. Right off the top, the prompter was in the wrong place. And so that's why I say follow the scripts in front of you. And yeah, it was pretty rocky for you. Lots of last-minute changes, prompter in the wrong place. But you handled it well, and we'll just keep working on these things. Nikki, did you want to say something about sports? What did you do well, and what can you do?
So starting off, something I think I did well,
just kind of paying attention to sports this week and getting an overall grasp of what was going on. Finding a consistent theme with the entire story. I linked together Arkansas and our winning and losing streaks with that in all sorts of sports. And then something I would like to work on next time, once again, just better graphics. I realized as I was editing the tabs that I pulled up, it was kind of hard to see the scores that I pulled up and was talking about and pointing to. So I guess for future reference, if you are a sports anchor and you're deciding to pull up the scores, like if you're looking at it, maybe zoom in on the screen, and that way when you're talking about it, you can actually see what the numbers are opposed to tinier font in the top. So.
Thank you. Did we give everybody the mic? Shaylin, did you want to? Yes. Unfortunately, we didn't hear what you had to say, but one thing you thought you did well, this was the quickest of quick turns, and something you want to work on and do even better. Turning on your mic. Like, I forget to.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I'd want to work on was the microphone thing, communicating with the tech team, because I didn't get a microphone until after the show started. So that was like a big miscommunication, I think, because I was like, is it on? Do I need to turn it on? And he said, don't touch it, leave it how it is. And then obviously it wasn't working, and I'm trying to adjust the mic, and the teleprompter wasn't working. So I was trying to read off of the script and do all of that at the same time. So I don't know how to fix that in terms of like working with the tech team, because it was difficult, because it seemed like a lot was going wrong at once on that side of things. I don't know how to, work on that in the future per se, but yeah. And then I guess something that went well was just that I ended up having all of the information I needed within like an hour before the show. It was a lot of information to gather in a short amount of time. So yeah, I think I'll be getting a lot of calls back from a lot of election boards tomorrow, which will be fun. So yeah.
Thank you for picking that up. I just think we need to do mic checks once the mic check has been done.
Yeah, I didn't get the mic until after the show was, until after Sam was already talking.
So that's the thing. The way to handle it is to always be there early.
Yeah, I asked them like 10 times before the show. I was like, I don't have a mic, I don't have a mic. And then.
Yes, yes, and keep advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
And, again, as I mentioned this morning, one last thing that I'll say, and you had technical difficulties, but basically what I said is try to, when you have more time, and you didn't, try to practice it beforehand and ad-lib as much as possible, this Q&A, and point, just kind of get into the screen itself. And you had this wonderful, like a PowerPoint, and just go through your slides and ad-lib through them. And the slides themselves are your pointers as to what you want to say, right? And so that becomes more natural, and natural comes so natural to you, no pun intended.
For something like that, obviously it was just the situation, but it would be nice to know that it was going to be live earlier in the day, because I had so little time that the things that I was saying, I had to read them because I didn't even know what they were. Because I didn't even have time to go do more background, so.
Yeah.
Which is totally just the way that the day worked out, and that's how it was, which is totally fine.
And you did great with what we asked you to do, and so we will do things. We will continue the good things that we did and the things we want to do better on Wednesday. Any questions, guys? Okay, thank you for good job. I think we're gonna get this. We're gonna keep learning and keep doing better and better. And thank you, Michelle. That was